We are going deep into the rainforest today, the Amazon rainforest, no less. And we are visiting an area that was once a sovereign state run by one of the most famous American industrialists of all time. Welcome to Fordlandia.
Well, thank you for having me.
That was more of a rhetorical thing. I wasn't really inviting you.
We're not there.
Yeah, we're not there. We're here.
Okay.
This is Where Did Everyone Go? With me, Dr. Sasha Auerbach.
And me, Tom Ward. A journey into the weird history of abandoned places. All right, so this being the rainforest, are we talking Brazil?
Yes, in the northeast state of Para.
Okay. So first impressions from the video are an enormous river. It's so wide it looks like a lake or even a sea.
Yes, and this is not the Amazon itself, the main Amazon. This is the Tapajos River, a major tributary of the Amazon. And this partly abandoned settlement is right on its banks.
Okay. And the buildings here look quite industrial. Big, cavernous factory-looking structures. But the windows are smashed and there are vines growing through them.
There are these American-style fire hydrants, pretty tree-lined avenues, empty swimming pools. It's so weird to see all this existing in the middle of the Brazilian rainforest.
And looming over all of it is this water tower, a very typical Midwestern American sort of structure.
Yeah, normally you would have the name of the town on the side of it, or, you know, the football mascot, whatever. It almost looks like it's an American movie set that had just been plonked down here, doesn't it?
Yeah. So what were Ford doing here, and where did everyone go?
Where did everyone go, indeed? So, we're going to go back to the start of the 20th century and to the man himself, Henry Ford. To quote a Guardian journalist, quote, in his day, Ford's name was every bit as evocative of the glimmering promise of technological revolution as Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg is today, perhaps even more so. I never think of Mark Zuckerberg as being foretelling a technological future. Steve Jobs, yes. Steve Jobs was a good engineer. Within a decade of founding the Ford Motor Company in Dearborn, Michigan in 1903, Ford had revolutionized car production. How? Do you know?
It's got to be something to do with people having different jobs on the car.
For once, you're right.
Wow.
I'm really impressed. You've been reading on the outside, haven't you? The assembly line.
Right.
The assembly line. Isolating tasks within the complex process of car making. This allowed his Model T to be completed incredibly fast. It's a method later known as Fordism, appropriately enough.
Okay.
He also revolutionized the treatment of his workers. In 1914, to great fanfare, he proclaimed that all workers at Ford would receive a daily salary of $5, the equivalent of over $120 today.
Is that a lot? $120 a day? Can you live off that?
Yes.
What's that?
As
$600 a week?
As an assembly line worker?
No, but now $120.
$120 a day times
That's
what?
600
Times 30 for the times no, not 30 because you don't work all 30 days. Times what? 20. I can't do math. You tell me.
It's about $2,500.
About $3,000 a month. Not much, really.
No. But it was good.
But
at
back
the time.
in the day, it was good. Back in the day, it was quite
$5
good.
a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he treated his staff well.
He treated his
That's
staff
the bottom
well.
line.
Absolutely.
Which is refreshing.
Yeah,
in the
but
history of
as
things
you'll
being
see,
made.
There's a darker side to it, you know.
Okay.
There's a real element of control about it as well, but we'll get to that.
I won't put on my Henry Ford sticker just yet.
No. Don't, yeah, and maybe cancel
He
that.
was a good man.
Maybe cancel that tattoo you had.
Right.
Or just put it someplace less visible. You're going to get a Ford tramp stamp?
He's a good guy. He treated his staff well. What's not to love?
There's so many things I could say, but I won't because it's PG-13. So back to why the heck put this thing here. The key to a good car, or one of the keys to a good car, are tires. And for that, you need a lot of rubber, especially in the early days of Ford when the tires were actually solid rubber. You know, modern tires are pneumatic rubber, right? Just shell, inflated shell. Ever wondered where rubber comes from, Tom?
Don't patronize me, Sasha.
Sorry. Tom,
I know where rubber comes from. It comes from the rubber shop.
Wrong. It comes from rubber barons.
Rubber barons.
Rubber barons rob all the rubber.
It comes
And then they run around with their rubber because they're rubber barons.
Rubber barons rub the rubber. If you want a rubber, you've got to talk to a rubber baron.
Rubber baron. Rubber barons are never bare of rubber.
No, that's right. They're fully stocked in rubber all the time.
All the time. Rubber comes from rubber trees, or to use the proper Latin name, Hevea brasiliensis.
Yeah, it doesn't add anything, knowing the Latin.
We can-
Do we need that? Do we need to know the Latin?
Well,
does anyone speak Latin?
We filmed it, so we've got
So
it.
you're a public school boy. Is anyone listening is like, oh, jolly good. Something for me there.
Yes,
I knew that, actually.
I'm sure our American audience is full of Eton graduates who are saying exactly that.
Yeah.
Before they go out and join the rowing team. Now, these trees are native to the Amazon basin, and they can grow to a height of 120, 130 feet.
Wow.
Here it's put as 43 meters. Thank you very much, Lewis. That is of no use whatsoever to our American audience that categorically rejects the metric system. So you slice into the gray-brown bark, and a white, waterproof sap oozes from the gap, and that is natural latex. Over the course of the day, the latex rises up the tree, as sap does. So the workers would have to go out very early in the morning when the latex was low in the tree, tap the tree, knock a tap into it, and extract it. The Aztecs, the ancient Mesoamerican civilization, actually used rubber tree latex to waterproof their containers.
Ah, did not know that about the Aztecs. Like a sort of original keep cup.
Yeah, when they weren't pulling thorned ropes through their tongues and
Graffiti.
genitalia, they were waterproofing their containers.
Nice. They were multifaceted.
Yeah. Do you know that they practiced auto-sacrifice?
No?
Yes, that's the sacrifice of your own blood. And so they would take thorned ropes and pass them through their tongues and their lips and other really tender parts of their anatomy as a sacrifice to the gods.
Yeah, the youth today don't know how good they've got it.
They really don't. Let's hope that's not a trend that comes in on TikTok. Hey, do the thorn rope through your tongue challenge. Don't. Do not do it.
You know what, Sasha? Nothing would surprise me now with the young people. If they did that now, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
They're TikToking and they're thorned ropes through their lips.
Get that rope out of your tongue, little miss.
Man, it's on TikTok. It's for my phone. Hate you.
I preferred it when you did the little dances on there.
The ice bucket
That
challenge.
was nice.
All right, so now you think, is latex the same thing as rubber? It isn't. Latex is a sort of catch-all term for the milky fluids that come out of flowering plants. So, for example, the latex from the chicle tree is used in chewing gum, hence chiclets. And the latex from the opium poppy is used to make morphine. But latex is also the word often used when talking about the rubber tree because it's by far the most economically important type of plant latex that there is. Once refined, it can be turned into rubber ready for commercial processing.
Wow, there's so many different types of latex coming out of trees.
Who would have thought it?
And you don't want to be, mixing them up.
No.
Otherwise, that could be a pretty spicy chewing gum.
Yeah, or, why did I sleep for 3 days? All I did was chew gum.
Yeah, all I did was put my
You fool.
tire on.
That was the opium gum.
You fool!
So, back to our man Henry Ford. For his growing automobile empire, he needs lots of rubber for his tires. But there was a problem. At the time, the British had a global monopoly on that commodity. It actually goes back to 1770. I know how you love it when I digress historical, and here it comes. Be ready. For those of you at home, now would be a good time to make coffee or use the bathroom, whatever. So
We apologize for this delay to your entertainment.
None of this is going to be funny at all. I'm going to be serious because I actually write this history.
Your subscription is important to us. Please hold while Sasha pleases himself with the following monologue.
In 1770, a Brit called Joseph Priestley came up with a word after observing that the material was extremely jolly good for rubbing off pencil marks on paper. Ha ha!
Not just jolly good, extremely jolly good.
Extremely jolly good.
Okay, so we had a monopoly over rubber.
No, we haven't gotten there yet. He comes up, this is where the term rubber comes from. In 1876, a man called Henry Wickham smuggled 70,000 Amazonian rubber tree seeds from Brazil, the devilish bastard, and delivered them to Kew Gardens in England, which is a major place of horticultural research at the time. The seedlings were then sent around the British Empire to places like India, Indonesia, and Malaysia, which is how I got interested in rubber trees and rubber cultivation, because I was doing research about the history of Malaysia. Now, this was a bit of an ugly period of history because rubber barons would scour the forest searching for the naturally growing trees, and along the way, they often coerced the locals into laboring on these plantations. Buying rubber through the British was expensive. So, Ford has an idea. He's not going to pay high prices for rubber. He's going to cut out the middleman and create his own rubber factory at the source in the Brazilian rainforest, which is full of rubber trees.
Okay, makes sense now. And hopefully he didn't enslave any of the local population in the manufacturing of rubber, which always kind of takes the shine off any story historically, I find.
Well, remember, he has a reputation. Now you see the two parts of Henry Ford. At one level, this guy who is concerned for the welfare of his workers, but at the other level, a real control freak. A person who has a particular vision of how things should be done, and he wants them done that way, and he is not going to compromise. You're going to see both sides of Ford, the man, and the organizer in what happens.
Okay, I'll put the tattoo on ice just for now.
Just for now. Interesting contrast between British and American usages of the term. So when I say the term rubber to you, what do you think of?
The end of a pencil.
Yes, right. And
when you've made a mistake.
That's where it was a Brit that came up with that. Like, it rubs things off of paper.
Because the English have made so many mistakes historically that we needed to invent.
Did an Englishman just admit to making a mistake?
Well, no, we have made regrettable decisions.
Ever.
In the past, we strive to do better, and we regret several of the things that occurred in previous generations, and we seek to make reparations at this difficult time.
I don't think that apology was sincere at all. Anyway, when you
My wife is standing by me in spite of the rent boys.
In spite of the rent boys?
The rent boys?
Yes. I didn't know if there was in spite of the rent boys or in spite of the rent boys. The intonation is important there.
Oh, the rent.
Boys.
Whoa.
Rent boys. Okay, I get it now. Anyway, speaking of which, when you say rubber to an American, they're likely to think of a condom, a prophylactic.
Oh, so this whole section has been confusing your listeners.
Tremendously. I was like, oh yeah, rubber's from trees? Like, who knew? Anyway, so back to Ford's plan, right? He's got this idea that he's going to cut out the middleman and start his own rubber industry in the middle of the Brazilian rainforest. Now, everybody knew that Henry Ford thought big. That was his reputation. So when he sets out to build a rubber factory, what he actually had in mind was an entire town. In 1928, Ford begins this ambitious plan to create the largest rubber plantation in the world and a complete American-style town to go with it.
Wow.
His idea was to create a modern pastoral utopia where he could impose his strict ideals for a healthy workforce, including prohibitions on gambling and alcohol.
Party pooper.
Yeah, well, this is a man that was fighting a battle against sin and indolence, but he also wanted to recreate the middle America of his youth. So Fordlandia also had an American-style dance hall, a cinema, a golf course. It even had tennis courts.
Outrageous.
In the middle of the Brazilian rainforest.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a Tim Burton film, isn't it?
Yeah, or it also reminds me of that movie Mosquito Coast with Harrison Ford, where he's like, I want to create ice for the natives. I'm going to amaze them.
But River Phoenix, Helen Mirren.
Exactly.
It's a great film. So, but you would though, wouldn't you? There's a temptation to take home with you, because you get homesick.
Well, but also
would you build your
there's that
area?
vision of the main character in that movie and this of like this kind of paternalistic colonialist, like we're here to civilize the natives, we're here to bring them the wonders of modern civilization. Like, I mean, there's the possibility that they're just fine the way they are without either ice or Fordlandia, but that's not going to come into the equation, right?
Yeah, it's asserting an agenda.
Yeah, so this was going to be more than just a company town. It was going to be run as an independent state within Brazil, and we'll talk a bit more about that after the break. So, Henry Ford had an agreement with the Brazilian government that there would be no intervention with his Fordlandia and that he would have complete freedom to run the town as he saw fit.
I can see no risk there. I think anything where there's been no jurisdiction has always turned out pretty well historically.
Yeah, I mean, what could go wrong when you give this incredibly rich and powerful man completely untrammeled power to impose whatever mad vision he has on the world?
Yeah.
I mean, who needs democratic contributions and the rule of law? Just give some rich goof just all the power. Let him do what he wants.
Yeah. Why not? See what happens.
Yeah.
Roll the dice. So
roll the dice.
Was it all Americans? Did he bring loads of Americans over to work?
No,
there,
actually, it turns out some middle management folks and their families were willing to give it a try. But most of the people here, the people doing the real hard labor in the sawmills and the manufactories, they were local folks.
Okay. It would have been unbelievably exciting to be the middle management folks telling your kids and your wife or your husband and your kids, but I'm assuming a lot of men were involved.
Yes.
At that time. Hey, honey, we're going to the Amazon rainforest. How much is that?
How about that?
Yeah, we're going to put you in a new school, and there's going to be some lovely children. New children. Yes.
Speaking Portuguese.
That's right.
Yeah. And it's going to be in the middle of nowhere, one of the least accessible places on the planet.
There'll be no toys.
But don't worry, because there's a water tower and a golf course.
Yes, and you can pick up the balls and collect them.
Just don't go into the woods. Where are the woods, Daddy? Everywhere.
All sides, honey.
And it's going to be 99% humidity and 105 degrees.
Yeah.
Every day.
I do genuinely think that would have been extremely exciting to be part of.
For a kid, probably.
Yeah.
For an adult, probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, probably quite clammy on those shirt sleeves.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried about being isolated because I was potentially moving to Geneva. So this is really a order of magnitude more.
Puts it in perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got some middle management moving over, and then you've got the rest recruited locally.
Most of the local folks. So all this American stuff is really for quite a small minority of the residents, and this is where the problems arise. Mm-hmm. Henry Ford basically looked at what worked in America, and he tried to superimpose it on the local population. The workers were expected to do gardening. They were expected to attend regular square dances, and most disconcerting of all, they were expected to eat American-style food. A local academic recently said, quote, "The idea was to domesticate the forest and all the beings that lived in it, including humans."
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I'm sensing this didn't go down too well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird kind of giant social experiment. You're taking people that have probably never seen an American hamburger before.
Was that the diet back then?
Well, that's a big American mainstay. I mean, hamburger, meatloaf, hot dogs.
That would have been the food back then.
That's good. That's solid American food back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. Didn't agree with them.
No. So things reach a boiling point in 1930. There is a mutiny in Fordlandia. The workers cut the telegraph lines. They chase the managers and the cook into the jungle.
Wow.
Yep. There was a particular revolt called the Breaking Pans Revolt, where the workers were so sick of the strict dietary structures that they rioted and smashed cars and machinery. It wasn't hamburgers. It was a meatless diet modeled after Ford's vegetarian eating habits.
Oh.
Now, you probably approve of this being a vegan yourself.
Yeah.
But you can't imagine that these poor folks in the middle of the Amazonian rainforest were going to be like, oh, really? Just vegetables? That sounds great. And also, remember, American-style vegetables.
Which would have been what?
Things like cauliflower, broccoli, green beans.
What were they
corn? I guess they must have been because you can't. Well, maybe you can grow that.
Is cauliflower in the rainforest?
What am I, a horticulturalist?
Green beans? I don't know.
All I know is that the American vegetable diet is not going to be like the Brazilian vegetables, right?
Right.
Having groundnut stew and plantains. Mm-hmm. I don't think Ford would go for that.
Right.
Why are those giant green bananas? I don't approve.
This is different to what I know. So it's a no.
So it's a no. Exactly that.
That was his policy, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. This is, speaking of bananas, do you like bananas?
Yeah, I love them.
Okay, what color?
I have 1.5 bananas a day.
What color do you think a banana should be?
What? When you eat it?
Yes.
The wrapper should be speckled black on yellow.
Speckled black on yellow.
Yeah.
My partner loves bananas, but will only eat them when the entire skin is brown. I find this very disturbing.
That's too much.
They're too soft. They're mushy.
Yeah.
Who likes a mushy banana?
Does it give you the ick when you see her doing it?
I can't watch. I can't watch. I don't even like seeing it in the fridge.
You walk out of the room?
Yeah, I just put on my danger goggles, my peril resistant goggles. I can't see the banana, and the banana cannot see me.
You got to keep the romance alive somehow. I mean, it's just the nature of marriage, man. There's always going to be stuff, isn't there? Something about them that surprises you that you didn't know when you married them, and then what? Oh, you eat those bananas? Yeah. Those are for dirty people.
Oh, well, I wouldn't go that far. I just find the texture of them somewhat unpalatable.
Well, those are the bananas that are left, aren't they? When you go to the
buys
corner shop,
those
there
bananas.
at the bottom with the little flies hanging around them.
Yeah, but I get everyone's got their something.
And she eats them as is, or she puts them in
she
smoothies.
just squeeze them to death.
like Popeye.
With the spinach.
So is it the sugar, or is it the texture, or is it both that she likes?
Let's
get her on the
Are they
phone.
sweeter when they're that brown?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, maybe that's it. She's got a sweet tooth. Yeah, that's probably it.
They
Okay,
get sweeter, yeah.
mystery solved. Anyway, back to Fordlandia. Now, I'm really glad we could put that one to bed. Back to Fordlandia. So this mutiny becomes so severe that the Brazilian army has to come in and
Come in.
for a hearty vegetarian meal afterwards.
I really appreciate what you did today, shutting down the mutiny.
Will you give us a steak? No. But you can use our bowling alley. Now there were definite positives for the local population. The school was the first formal education that many locals had, and the hospital introduced modern medicine and modern medical practices. But the biggest problem here was the rubber plantation. Ford knew automobiles, but he was no biologist. His team in the Amazon consisted of top Ford factory trained men, but they didn't have rubber specialists. And what happened was that they planted the trees side by side. And that's not how you do it. Because rubber trees
argue.
They argue, but real quietly. I don't like your latex.
Your rubber is rubbish.
Your latex. Your rubber is rubbish. You're no rubber baron.
I make opium with my teeth. You make tires.
That's really harsh. It's like
I
a
help
class
the
difference. You have nothing.
You're nothing.
No, they're
and you're ugly.
Ouch. You're some mean rubber plants. Oh, but then there's the whole thing. It's like, I'm rubber, you're glue. What you say bounces off of me and sticks to you. Rubber trees do that? You never heard that one?
Is that a saying about bullying?
Yeah. It's like sticks and stones will break my bones.
Is this the American version?
Yeah, that's the American.
What is it again?
I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you.
That's far too busy. I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you.
Yeah.
What's the implication there that your
if
threats?
you say something mean, it's going to bounce off and stick back on you.
Why would it stick?
Live by the sword, die by because you're glue. It's not bloody rocket science.
What you accuse others of is what you secretly are. Is that what they're saying? Or?
Yeah, and that actually is true. Ever notice that people really despise the faults in others that they feel they have in themselves?
Yeah.
That's
why I hate it when sexy, smooth men walk into the room. I'm like, hey, asshole. Who does he think he is?
That sexy,
look at that bowl cut.
Smooth like hairless or
smooth temperament?
Smooth temperament.
Slick, smart, witty, good hair. I see. Look at this
bastards.
Asshole. Who does he think he is?
Yeah. Okay. I see where you're going with this. It's
a
beautiful.
rare moment of self-confidence.
A rare moment of self-confidence. But ironic self-confidence, which I really like.
Which is fine.
So, they plant the trees side by side. They're not particularly prone to arguing. I mean, there are some argumentative trees out there, but if you want a good argument, upset a fern. No, they're particularly prone to disease, which means when one catches something, there's a kind of domino effect when they're too close together, and they all catch the disease and sicken and die.
Yeah, that's basic cultivating knowledge, isn't it? If they'd had one tree
some plants are more robust than others, and you can plant them close together. It's not that big a deal. Like sugarcane doesn't, blight doesn't spread through sugarcane.
Okay.
So they didn't. Not only did they plant these things too close together, so they have these die-offs when disease hit, but they didn't replant enough rubber trees. So after a while, there just wasn't enough to feed the Ford machine. In the end, Fordlandia produced only 750 tons of latex, none of which ever made it into a Ford car.
What the hell? All that fuss.
Yep.
And then just I mean, how can you not plant enough seeds?
Well,
it's just, come on.
Poor planning.
That's why you're there.
They weren't. These are not horticulturalists. Like these are car factory men. Like, what do they know about planting rubber? Nothing. You can steal the seeds.
Read a book.
But you can't steal the expertise.
Get a guidebook on rubber. Read it. Plant the seeds. Do a little. I mean, he's too busy setting up the bloody mall in the town centre.
Maybe this is the difference between intelligence and wisdom, right? Intelligence is having the knowledge to accomplish something. Wisdom is knowing how to deploy it.
He was a visionary, but he was partially sighted.
Well, everyone's got their blind spots. But they battle on, trying to appease the locals and impose their will over nature. As they do, however, Ford's high hopes for Fordlandia come crashing down when a new product floods the market. Synthetic rubber. It immediately eradicates the need for the laborious process of tapping the rubber trees.
That's not good.
Nope.
That's a bad day at the office.
That's a bad day on the rubber plantation.
Just when you think your day can't get any worse. Hello, Fordlandia. Number one
producing of almost some natural rubber when we don't plant the trees too close together.
Sorry about the background noise. That's the staff mutinying
over their vegetarian diet
and the middle management quitting,
fleeing to the jungle.
But other than that, we're still number one. How can I help you? Huh?
Yes, we've worked out how to make rubber without rubber.
I'll call you back. Can I get a name?
The world. So synthetic rubber is basically made from petroleum byproducts in a process called vulcanization.
Good word.
Yes, good word. I presume after the Roman god Vulcan, god of heat. I guess it's a heating process. So about 2/3 of the 32 million tons of rubber produced every year in America is synthetic rubber. The first synthetic rubber ever produced was neoprene, which you may have encountered if you've ever put on a wetsuit for scuba diving or something like that.
Or just for personal use.
Or just for personal recreational use, yes. It was invented in 1931 by the DuPont company.
And that is a name you do not say in the Ford household, I'm guessing.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, back to Fordlandia. For all of Henry's $20 million investment, virtually no rubber was produced there. Ford's bid to industrialize the biological world and tame the rainforest and everything in it and everyone in it was a failure.
A huge failure. So what did he do? What did he do with the place then?
Well, in 1945, it was sold back to the Brazilian government for a little over $200,000. And its sawmill, its hospital, its houses, and its streets were abandoned.
Oh, man.
Yeah, for 60 years, it lay derelict, a ghost town of massive proportions. Until recently, it was partially reclaimed by the local population as a ready-made place to live. About 2,000 people remain residents of Ford's rundown utopian experiment today.
Nice. So what are we talking here, like young Amazonian professionals? It's like a trendy new flats, or is it more kind of squatting,
looking
art
at it,
student-y type?
It doesn't look particularly trendy to me. It looks kind of desolate and decrepit.
Right, so it's like young Amazonian punk bands and stuff like that who just like live in there.
Are there young Amazonian punk bands?
Is there something to be punky about in the Amazon, or is the climate too nice? What are they rebelling against? The government?
Mosquitoes?
Brazilian government, yeah. I think there probably are punk bands in the Amazon. Like protesting against the government and against deforestation. In fact,
significant number of people are protesting against deforestation.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what turns the CO2 back into oxygen. Oh, here's an interesting, fun, depressing fact. Did you know that the planet's ability to transform CO2 into oxygen is actually going down now because the rising heat. Oh. So that will accelerate climate change because you can't stop this CO2 from accumulating, which will then cause more problems, which will then lower the ability of the planet to absorb CO2.
Great.
So if you didn't already think that we are doomed because of what we're doing to the world, now you can be certain.
Okay, fantastic.
Time to get the thorned rope, I think, and hope that the gods take pity on us.
I mean, I'm prone to, fatalism. So yeah, I feel pretty good right now.
If it makes you feel any better, you and I will not live to see the worst of it.
Yeah, well, my kid will. Did the climate scientists factor in this extra thing, or is this a new side
This is what
effect?
they've realized. Yeah, they didn't know. They didn't know this before.
Right.
This is a new discovery.
Well,
Fun new discovery.
Hopefully, there's some other new things that they haven't discovered yet, which will counter this information.
Well, that would require our unalloyed support and faith in science and scientists, which seems to be going down.
Yes.
Anyway. So, speaking of which, environmental issues. The water quality here is now actually worse than when the factory town was in full swing, because what's been introduced here is a new form of illegal gold mining that is releasing huge quantities of mercury into the Amazon and its tributaries. Now, I'm no chemist, but I remember my mother saying, if the thermometer breaks, put it down and take it out of your mouth immediately, because
Yeah.
mercury is so damn toxic.
Yeah, I mean, Marvin Gaye sang about Fish Full of Mercury, didn't he?
Did he?
On his What's Going On album. Yeah, I mean, I always knew from that it wasn't a good thing. I thought it was going to be a happy ending.
No.
But
There are no happy endings.
no. It's a story of trying to assert your agenda. Square hole, round peg. No. It's a story of trying to assert your agenda where it doesn't fit.
It's about the futility of ego. That the attempts of great men to build lasting monuments to themselves are invariably doomed to failure. And, the land will reclaim the ridiculous ambitions of us all. And nothing else will remain besides.
Producer Lewis here. Thanks for listening to this episode of Where Did Everyone Go? New episodes every Wednesday and Sunday. Follow, comment, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out.